Hello everyone, we're here today to harvest a couple of seeds from one of the heirloom tomatoes that we've harvested this summer. It's basically the Principe Burgese. So I'm going to show you one technique. I strongly recommend that if you plan on saving seeds, is to go for a heirloom variety plant. The reason is any heirloom variety, if you replant them the following year, they'll come back the same plant as what you've originally planted. So we're going to be focusing today from one technique to save some seeds. So we'll start off by basically cutting the tomatoes open and then pouring all the seeds that we're able to obtain in a clear transparent container. In this case I borrowed my wife's measuring cup here, so we'll go with this one. All right, so we're just gonna start cutting the tomatoes. Usually just halve them in half like this. You see there's already a lot of seeds in this type of variety of tomato. So if you notice, I'm just splitting the tomatoes in half here. And then once they're all split, I'm gonna take each of the tomatoes and just sort of squeeze them out, all the seeds out of it. So you notice one single tomato offers a lot of seeds already, so this is going to be plenty for storing for next year. All right, so once the seeds have been harvested, you'll see there's tons of them in there. We go ahead and pour some water on top of this. Just enough so that you sort of cover half your container. And you'll notice all the seeds are actually accumulating to the bottom there. The ones that you'll start noticing floating to the top are normally seeds that are not viable. So we'll end up discarding the content of the things that are floating on top of this as the days go by. It's probably going to take about 4 to 5 days to start seeing this water clear up. I will go through this and I'll show you guys what happens to the water. It'll basically start fermenting, and you'll notice a bunch of gunk actually accumulating on top, which we'll be discarding until we get an actual clear water, and you'll just notice at the end is the actual seeds that we want to store for saving. All right, so we're on day 3 of our seed saving. So we're just gonna do the same process as before. We're gonna empty the water and then replace it with some fresh water. So as usual, just try to remove as much of that extra tomato meat there. We'll just do this a second time just to try to remove as much as we can of this these extra chunks of tomato here. Notice there's small pieces of seeds there. Those are the tiny seeds that aren't as viable, so they're completely safe to discard at this point. And one last time, we'll fill this up halfway. And as you notice, the water is much clearer this time, and you're starting to see the seeds even clearer now. So we are on day 5 of our tomato seed savings. So I went ahead and cleared this earlier. Basically just removed the excess water, but if you notice, everything's all clear now and you got like actual seeds sitting at the bottom there. I'm gonna do one final rinse, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the seeds and put this on wax paper to let dry for the final step. So as I said, one final rinse. So the seeds that remain, the ones that actually falls at the bottom, are 99% viable for the following year to use. So that's a good way of testing whether your seeds are good for planting. So drain the water as much as you can. And once you're fully confident that you've removed as much as water as you can, we'll go ahead and lay this down on a wax paper. Okay, you notice all the seeds are all accumulated there. We're just gonna quickly scatter them just a bit, just enough so that the seeds don't clump up once they're fully dried. So that's it. This is the final step. We're gonna leave this to dry, and I'll see you guys once we've fully dried the seeds and show you guys where to store them after. So after a day or two of drying, the seeds are ready to store. You'll notice that they're actually all clumped up right now. But before storing it, you could either unclump them by just simply pulling them apart like this. So for just a couple of pieces of tomato, notice that there's plenty of seeds to use for the following year. Alright, so that's be good enough. I usually use a small plastic bag like this to store them. I'll go ahead and put these in here. There you go, you have your seeds. Alright, so we have our harvested seeds ready to be stored for next year. I normally store these seeds in the refrigerator. It's always recommended that you store seeds in a cool, dry place. So my preferred method is that. If you have enough space in yours, feel free to do so. So this will basically conclude our seed saving guide. If you have any other tips that you would like to share in terms of seed savings, make sure to comment down below. In the meantime, please subscribe to our channel and make sure to give this video a thumbs up.